Did you see what came out today on social media? A prosecutor, an elected prosecutor for Fayette County, West Virginia, just issued a formal press release attacking me and my YouTube channel. And this has to do with the Officer OD hoax case. I published a couple videos on this, including one 3 or 4 videos ago. And this is the case where a police officer or 2 police officers in West Virginia were caught on video basically pretending that an overdose was occurring because the suspect they were arresting allegedly threw drugs in their face. And I had posted the footage way back when, and now my update video a couple of videos ago discussed the fact that those charges were quietly dismissed a year later because, surprise, surprise, the police officers' tox reports came back from the lab showing that they didn't actually overdose. There were no drugs in their system. I mean, again, surprise, surprise. Answer the question, did they overdose or did they not overdose? Did they have drugs in their system or did they not have drugs in their system? So he was basically really butthurt that I had put these videos out. And here's what he says in his press release on, I think there was a formal one, and it was also on Facebook for his official page and also his campaign page. And he conveniently turned off the comments first so that the public could not respond. But he attacks me. And that's what tyrants do. They attack the messenger. Here's what he says. The allegation made by Brian that the officers who were exposed to fentanyl had lied about the arrestees' actions are completely baseless and wholly without merit. It is truly disappointing that Mr. Brian appears to be more interested in clicks on his YouTube channel than presenting the truth about a serious situation that could have resulted in the death of 2 police officers. I think he's completely missing the point here if he really believes what he's saying. I mean, if you go back a year, September 28th of 2022, we look at the headlines that went national that they put out there. North Carolina man charged for throwing narcotics at Oak Hill police causing them to overdose. A North Carolina man is facing attempted murder charges after 2 police officers overdosed during a traffic stop in Fayette County. Keith Deshaun Adams was arrested Tuesday night in Oak Hill. Adams was pulled over by Oak Hill police just before 6 p.m. and then he fled on foot towards U.S. Route 19. Adams is accused of throwing a bag believed to be opiate narcotics into the officers' faces. During the struggle, the 2 officers collapsed and began overdosing on the drug. An off-duty nurse and other citizens that were passing by at the time helped render aid to the officers and administered the opioid reversal drug Narcan. Both officers were treated at Plateau Medical Center and were released Tuesday night. Adams is currently in police custody at CAMC. And so then they did indeed charge the guy with attempted murder of 2 police officers, where if you look at the criminal complaint, it says that the suspect opened the plastic baggie, purposefully exposing the police officers to a Scheduled 1 controlled substance that incapacitated both officers. That required emergency administration of Narcan. This would have resulted in serious health conditions, including but not limited to respiratory arrest, cardiac arrest, and even death, had Narcan not been administered rapidly. Okay, those were the criminal charges that were dropped. We know for a fact now that those police officers were not going to die as a result of the drugs had Narcan not been administered to them. The lab toxicology reports for the police officers came back that there were no drugs in their system. Therefore, they were not going to die due to drug overdose. Those were completely false allegations. Conveniently, that is unmentioned by the prosecutor in his personal attack by me. Why doesn't he address that? Go ahead, release the police officer's toxicology reports. Answer the question, did a police officer overdose? Or did a police officer not overdose? If not, when we watch the video of this police officer appearing to overdose, what was happening? Was he pretending? Was he acting? Was he just having an anxiety attack, a panic attack? Because we know for a fact that he did not overdose on drugs. So what was happening? Well, we do know that he was tased by the female police officer. Why didn't you mention the fact that the guy who was appearing to act really weird, possibly an overdose, why didn't you mention that he was tased by his female partner? You didn't mention that at all. What did I misrepresent? I'm exposing the truth to the public. You were the one misrepresenting that this guy, while in possession of drugs, possibly selling them, who knows? That's not the issue. You were the one making a big deal, and your other associated government officials, police officers, making a big deal in the media about this guy having tried to kill 2 police officers by throwing drugs in his face, when it just wasn't true. You had the body cam from day one showing that he just dropped the baggie. You had the video filmed by my client from day one showing that they were just sitting there tasing the guy, and the guy is suffering, and the female cop is grabbing the drugs and spreading it all over the place. So perhaps they were exposed. They weren't exposed by him. They were exposed by her, according to the video footage. And the fact is there's no evidence that he tried to kill the officers with drugs. There's no evidence that they had any drugs in their system whatsoever. I mean, this whole thing is laughable. Just because the feds are going to prosecute the drug possession, that has nothing to do with the allegations that he supposedly attacked and tried to kill these police officers. Fact is they got caught in the act with video footage, as usually happens. And what do? They like to attack the messenger. That's what tyrants do. They don't want to address the facts. They want to attack the messenger. And not everybody is a difficult target like I am. And in this particular case, what does he do? He puts it on Facebook, and then he turns off the comments, or he controls who can comment, so that he doesn't have to face the public. So I challenge him to release the police officers' toxicology reports. Answer the question, did they overdose or did they not overdose? Did they have drugs in their system or did they not have drugs in their system? And what prosecutor, if he has evidence that somebody attempted to kill 2 police officers in his jurisdiction, what prosecutor is going to drop the charges? It would be nice if he would just admit that he dropped the charges because the charges were false. They were baseless. They were fabricated. I don't care whether they were intentionally fabricated or accidentally fabricated. That's a question for them to answer. So let's look into it more. I'm really, really interested in going through every aspect of this now. This is one of those unintentional consequences things. I think they're going to draw more attention to this case, more attention to this video footage, and they're going to generate more clicks, which is exactly what they don't want to do. So if you have not watched the last video that I did on this, watch it. Also, go to the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com where you can watch the actual raw footage that YouTube won't even let you see. So check it out and subscribe. Thecivilrightslawyer.com. I definitely will be following this one more closely. Remember, freedom is scary. Deal with it.